go away from me with this Apollo, please. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're gonna talk about it. So today we are reviewing The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 11. So this episode was kind of cute. We got to see Sheree begging for sales, panhandling, strong-arming the ladies into making a purchase at SheBySheree.com.
Oh, we're supporting. Can y'all? I didn't see anybody's name as customers for She by Sheree.
We saw this fake little fight between Sonya and Monyetta that production had to tease like it was a real fight. What was that about? And we got to see the beginnings of what kind of looks like maybe Sanya possibly growing a backbone and standing up to Sheree and Marlo using some ripped jeans and telling Sheree that her website is really janky as hell. Let's talk about it. But before we do, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. You already know the vibe so that I know you are here. Okay, so the episode picks up right where we left off. Like we know, Drew got up from the table. She was crying. She was emotional, and she goes outside, and a couple of the ladies followed her out to check on her. As they're walking out, Drew says she's tired of her feelings not being acknowledged. Didn't I say in my last review that Drew's tears were not solely about her little argument with Sheree or this lawsuit? It's something bigger. It's her marriage. It's Ralph, right? And we saw in past seasons that Ralph would gaslight the hell out of Drew, and now she's dealing with it in this friend group. So we saw in the last episode that when Drew got up and left, Kandi says and scene, and they made sure to show it to us again in this episode. They like, we want y'all to see what Kandi did. Now, I feel I'm like half and half on what Kandi did in this scene. Because on one hand, although we know that Drew and Ralph be acting, I really felt like those tears were genuine. Like I felt that. I really did. And on the other hand, Kandi be crying at the drop of a dime. So I would think that someone who cries as quickly as Kandi, even though she says she's not that emotional friend, she's not the friend whose shoulder you can cry on. For someone who's not the friend whose shoulder you could cry on, baby, you'd be crying a lot. So I would think that someone like Kandi would have a bit more empathy for Drew's tears. You get what I'm saying? Not that she had to run over to Drew and, oh baby, are you okay? But the and scene comment was kind of cold to me. Right, Miss Kandi?
Don't talk about my mama. Don't talk about my husband. Don't talk about my kids. Don't talk about my business. Don't talk about...
Like, Kandi, you be crying for everything. So where your empathy at, sis? Where's the empathy? Tell me what you think. Another side to that is that on Kandi Speak On It, she did say that the reason why she didn't rush to get up was because in that moment, Kandi said that her main concern at that dinner table was keeping those booty cheeks together. Okay, those are her exact words, not me. Because remember, she was still dealing with those bubble guts all day. So when she got up from the table and they asked her like, oh, are you going to check on Drew? And she said, no, I'm going to the bathroom. She had to go. Okay. So let me know what you think about that. Do you think that Kandi was being insensitive, or do you think that Drew was just acting her ass off and being extra? All right. So we see Sheree, Kenya, and Sanya, and they follow Drew out. And again, Drew is crying and she's explaining why she's upset. But production, there was a not too fast. Production played the clips of past seasons where Drew brought up a situation to Sheree about Anthony. So this was done at the table with everybody there. Now remember, Anthony was like an assistant and he worked for Drew and Sheree. He was messy as hell. He was bringing tea back and forth. There was talks about money, about Ralph. It was a whole mess. Drew had no problem bringing that up in front of everybody, and production made sure to remind us. So as far as Sheree is concerned, she said it's fair game. In Sheree's confessional, she said, I'm gonna bring up everything I hear. Like, let's be clear, because that's what y'all do to me. So it is what it is.
Who gonna check me, boo? I have.
Anyway.
Are you okay?
No.
But with that said, Sheree does apologize, right? So she apologizes to Drew and she says that she won't bring it up again. Then Sheree also says that she wasn't aware that there was a lawsuit. And I'm like, but Sheree, you're the one who brought it up at brunch. You brought it up. So how are you now not aware that there was... Girl, Sheree is crazy. Sheree be lying. Oh my God. So while they're out there discussing everything, Kenya's like, okay, how many of us are on this trip? 8 of us? Okay, what's $1,000 divided by 8? And Sheree was like, okay, Kenya. Sheree was like, okay, I said I'm sorry, but I ain't that sorry. I ain't giving this girl no damn money. Are you crazy? And Drew was like, no, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. We've already given this girl money and she keeps coming back for more. And I'm like, is this girl extorting Ralph and Drew? Does she have some tea on them or something? Because Drew said that they already gave her money and she keeps coming back for more. And I'm like, well, why y'all keep giving her more unless... What's going on? What's the tea? What is tea? Let us know. Sounds like extortion to me, but child, I guess we'll find out. But here's the thing. Here's the thing right here. When the ladies asked Drew what was going on, she made it seem like all of her stress and all of these tears and her being so upset was solely because of this lawsuit that she had going on with a mix of her conversation with Sheree. She made it seem like that was the entirety of what was stressing her out in this moment. But when production asked her, that's when she opened up and let us know that the last time Ralph was out of town, he was getting oiled down by somebody, and this lady who was oiling him down is the same lady who told him that he should audition for the Black Magic Mike show, and that she doesn't really trust him when she's out of town or when he's out of town. So clearly we can see that these confessionals are shot way after the actual scenes, right? Because remember, in the scene in the previous episode when they were all at the table and Drew was telling the ladies, oh, Ralph is in Vegas, he's auditioning, he's on business. She was excited, or at least she was acting like it, but she gave the impression to the ladies that she was happy with Ralph being in Vegas and she was excited and he's on business. But in her confessional today, she's saying that she is worried when Ralph is out of town. So I wouldn't be surprised if that confessional where Drew has like the red hair, if they were already going through their divorce when those confessionals were shot. Y'all get what I'm saying? So it can be the time difference, right? When the scenes are shot in comparison to when the confessionals are shot. Or it could just really mean that Drew really has no friends in this group of girls and she felt more comfortable telling production that information as opposed to any of the ladies there. Because even when they have their one-on-one conversations, like you'll see two of the ladies break off and they'll have a private conversation. She didn't do that with any of the women. So I don't think that she really trusts any of the girls in that group. So Drew comes back inside, the ladies are back at the table, and Sonia makes a comment about everyone being respectful, even if you don't agree with the other person you're talking to. And she's like, that's just my 2 cents. That's just my 2 cents. And Kenya's like, I got a little jar somewhere that you could put those 2 cents in. Kenya is funny because she's like, me and Sanya are cool. She knows I'm playing around with her. And I was like, I'm happy you said that because I wasn't sure, okay? So then Kenya brings up that Candy has been absent from the group a lot. And I'm like, yeah, Candy be doing a lot. Like, we know this. That's a busy woman. She's a boss. And she tells the ladies that she's still in her building stages. And they're like, what? Building? Because to them, Candy's already reached a great level of success. So for her to say she's still in the building stages, they're confused. But just because Candy is your goal doesn't mean she's reached her personal goal. That's like when you say you want to lose weight or you say you want to go back to school and get another degree or something, and people are like,
why you want to lose weight? You look fine.
Or
why you want to go back to school? You already got a degree.
And it's like, because that's what I want to do for me, right? Candy ain't slowing down. You see that lady? That lady never home. She is not slowing down anytime soon. I wrote Marlo shut up here. What did Marlo do? What did I say? I wrote Marlo shut up. I think that she said something in support of Candy at the dinner table. And I was like, girl, shut up. The thing, yeah, that's what it was. She said something that was like in favor of Candy. And the thing with Marlo is she's so fake that whenever she says anything to you, you can't even like take it to heart. Because in 10 minutes, she'll be cursing you out. She'll be calling you bad-bodied, talking about your man, talking about your mama. Like, Marlo is crazy. Even if she says the sweetest thing to you, in 5 minutes, she gonna be cursing you out. All right, so now it's day 2 in Portugal. I'm like, damn, it's only day 2. A lot has transpired already. So the ladies are meeting downstairs to get their day started. And Marlo's like, oh, Sandra's gonna be a little bit late because she had to go back upstairs and change because I had picked out this nice dress for her. And then she came down in these ugly ripped jeans. And I told her to take her behind back upstairs and change. So she went back upstairs and changed into the dress that I told her to wear. Girl, why when Sandy came downstairs, she had on them same ripped jeans. Why Sandy came downstairs in those same ripped jeans? And Marla was like, Marlo looked so disgusted at those jeans. And I was like, good job, Sanya. Not Sanya growing a backbone. Sanya, how dare you turn down fashion advice from Marlo Hampton, the owner of Le Archive, fashionista herself? I'm like, okay, Sanya, I see that backbone is growing vertebrae by vertebrae. Okay, I'm here for it. So at this point, everyone is downstairs except for Kenya. Kenya be late. She was late to the benefit that Sanya had. And now she's late to this. And Brooklyn isn't there. Brooklyn is home on this trip. So Kenya can't say that she's running late because of Brooklyn or whatever. Like, girl, why are you so late? So the ladies finally get up and they start making their way to the Sprinter van. They're like, look, we can't wait any longer. We got to leave Kenya. But they still wait even longer. I'm assuming production told them that, like, y'all can't leave. Y'all got to wait for Kenya. Kenya doesn't get downstairs until about 30 minutes after the ladies have already gotten on the van, okay? So Kenya's coming outside. It's raining. It's a nasty day. And Kenya got some damn slippers on. And she slips and she falls. And when I tell you I cringed at that fall, it looked painful. It really did. So when that happens, the plans kind of stop. Everyone gets off the bus. Production is sorting things out. So the ladies are just waiting at this point. So Drew and Courtney go over to the bar and they're just chatting. And Courtney twists up her mouth to say, oh, the universe has a strange way of forcing things. Yeah, it's her karma. It's karma. So I'm like, wait, what's karma? So Kenya falling is karma. Karma for what, really? Because she told you not to touch her? She's a mean girl for telling you, for asking you not to touch her. Courtney is a weirdo. I don't know if she's genuinely upset that Kenya told her not to touch her, or she's just, fishing for beef, like she just wants to beef with Kenya. But you look stupid.
Girl, stop.
In Drew's confessional, she says that karma comment that Courtney made did not sit right with her. And I'm like, why y'all only say this in the confessional? Say it to their face. Like, what? I understand popping your shit in a confessional, but like, you could have said that to her face too. You could have been like, girl, no ma'am. So we see Kenya's going to the hospital. Candy goes with her. Now the ladies, they load back on the Sprinter and they're on their way to the market. Child, that fish in that market looks so good. Ooh, it looks so fresh. That fish looked fresh. I know once it was cooked, it tastes delicious. Then they go to one of the vendors that lifts up a rabbit and they're like, oh, that rabbit has a BBL. And Marlo says that Kenya should have went to that BBL doctor. Now, production is messy as hell because when Marlo said that, they played a sound bite of Kenya saying, I don't have a fake butt. And then they put the pop sound. Production. Y'all are messy. So the ladies called to check on Kenya and Candy lets them know that they're still waiting, right? They're at the hospital. They're still waiting to be seen. Manyetta makes a comment about them deserving VIP treatment. Child. Now listen, we know that money talks, okay? One of y'all faves shut down the whole floor in the hospital to deliver their baby, okay? Money talks, right? But I think when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to being in the hospital, something like that, everyone should be treated fairly. We know that's not the case, but I didn't like Manyetta thinking that they should skip the line just because it's Candy Burris and Kenya Moore. Because if I was in the hospital, I don't care who you are. I was first. You ain't skipping me. She ain't skip. No, period. You not about to skip me. No, ma'am. Ooh, look at my cup, y'all. Let me see. Look at my cup, y'all. My mama bought me this cup. Isn't it perfect? Look, it matches my flowers. Anyways, plus y'all are in a foreign country, so don't nobody really know who you are, okay? And Marlo uses this moment to kind of prove Candy wrong, because remember when she said, bitch, I'm worldwide. Marlo's like, well, y'all still in that waiting room, so clearly you ain't worldwide, okay? Because if you was worldwide, bitch, y'all wouldn't be waiting. Period. On Candy's Speak On It, she did say, like, yeah, no, obviously she's not going to be that known in a different country. But she was like, but if they didn't know me, Marlo, they damn sure don't know you, okay? Like, let's be clear. I will say, though, in this scene, ooh, I loved Marlo's confessional look. She had the updo and, like, the hair. She had this, like, it looks like animal print, right? Like an animal print shirt and then something going down the middle. She looked good. I don't really like Marlo. I don't like Marlo, okay? I don't like Marlo. She's crazy to me, but she be looking good, okay? Mama be looking good. So the ladies head to a restaurant, and as they sit down to eat, Marlo is eyeing this waiter, okay? She is eyeing this waiter. He's greeting them. He's reading the menu, and Marlo is just smiling. Like, I'm like, Marlo, this is your type for real. This is what you really like, right? Let us know. It's okay, girl. It's okay, sis. Go where you're loved. That's the type of time I'm on, okay? So it ain't no problem. But Marlo says that she just thinks that his accent is sexy. I'm like, okay, girl, okay. Then Marlo brings up Scott Lee and she starts showing the lady pictures from their first date and blah, 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 blah. Manietta says, I think it's a little bit too early for you to be like doing so much. And I'm like, But she has to though, right? Because it's like for her storyline. So she can't not bring it up. Like the whole point of her dating him is so that she can show us that she's dating somebody finally. And then they show us Kenya calling Marlo's date with Scott Lee a Tinder date. Then Manietta says that she felt like when Marlo brought up the fact that she went on a date with Roy, remember at the brunch when Kenya was on FaceTime with Roy and Marlo's like, is that Roy? Is that Roy? Girl. Manietta says that she feels like Marlo was trying to take away some of Kenya's shine. I don't really see it that way. Because like I said in my last review, Marlo kept it cute. Like she kept it cute. Even when Kenya started coming for her, like, oh, well, you showed him what not to do. You showed him who he don't want to be with. Marlo still kept it cute. She didn't take it there. And we know that if it was reversed and Kenya dated someone who Marlo was out with, Kenya would definitely bring it up. Like, let's be real. She would. So then Martell calls Sheree on FaceTime. I guess she only paid for a FaceTime call. Okay. And he starts telling her like, oh, I miss you. And make sure you think about me tonight. And this is the longest that we've went without. Please. I don't want to hear these two. I don't want to see these two. I am good. Go away from me with this Apollo. Please. I'm good on those two. And then to see Courtney and Marlo in their confessionals praising Sheree's relationship with Martell. It's like, Marlo says any man with a pulse and without an ankle bracelet is a step up from Tyrone. And I know that's funny. Ha ha he he. But that's really sad as hell. Like if we being real, Sheree.
You're too grown.
Sheree, you're too grown to be playing these games. You're too grown. Like, it's okay to be single. It's okay to be single. You don't have to always be attached to a man, baby. And the fact that you always attach yourself to like the bottom, like the worst of the worst, it's giving that you don't feel complete unless you got a man like in the picture somewhere. So then Sheree, with her messy ass, brings up the fact that Kandi didn't get up to follow Drew that night to check on her and see if she was okay. Clearly, Sheree has been trying to like play the mother goose this season, trying to bring everyone together and heal everybody and fix the energy. Girl, that is not your ministry. Stop. Because we can clearly see what you're trying to do here, right? But I do agree. I expected for if anyone at the table got up to follow Drew, it would at least be Kandi, right? And even if she didn't get up, I definitely didn't expect her to make that and scene comment because none of the other girls even said anything like that. So for Kandi, someone who I thought was the closest to Drew out of all the ladies at that table, yeah, that was shady as hell. So as the scene goes on, Marlo apologizes to Drew for yelling at her in the winery. And Drew is like, thank you for the apology. I appreciate it, but I just need to see more consistency. And you could tell on Marlo's face that she wanted to curse her ass out again the same way that she did when she was in that truck and she hung up the phone. But she kept it cute. I could tell that Marlo wanted to go in on Drew again, but she was like, you know what? Maybe the life coach is working. The life coach might be working because we're actually starting to see Marlo take the high road every now and then, okay? Maybe the life coach is working, child. So at this point, Kenya and Kandi have left the hospital. They confirm that Kenya is okay. She don't have any broken bones or anything like that. So she goes to the room. Meanwhile, the ladies are going to a pottery class where they're making like their own little sculptures or whatever. And in the background, they're playing like this serene music. And Marlo was like, oh, everything is so much better when Kenya and Kandi aren't around. And she says the air is different and there's no drama and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Marlo, did you forget that when you curse out Drew, right? The thing that you just apologized to Drew for, Kenya and Kandi weren't there. Kenya and Kandi weren't there when he was barking down Drew's face, okay? So let's not get it twisted. But production made sure to play... Production made sure to play the clips of Kandi talking about she gonna headbutt somebody, of Kenya cursing out Martell, of Kandi telling Kenya,
if she come at me, don't hold me back. Don't hold me back.
Production made sure to include those clips, okay? Does production not like Kandi and Kenya? I'm starting to get that vibe. Like, what do y'all think? I'm starting to get the vibe that like production, they don't really like Kandi and Kenya like that. They're not giving them the best edit this season. They're really not. Then we get this little fake fight scene between Monyetta and Sanya. In the commercials, they previewed it to look like it was real and it wasn't. Okay, so boo, boo. Next, we could have did without that. So now we see that Sheree is going to be hosting a pajama party in her room later that night. So the ladies are heading over there and Kandi is back, okay? Kandi is back. So we know it's about to be some mess, right? Why Marlo said that Kandi came in there looking like Cleo from Marlo said that Kandi came in there looking like Cleo from Set It Off. Listen, in all honesty, at this point, I think that Kandi is over this show. I think Kandi just comes, she clocks in, she shoots her scenes, and she goes home. That's the vibe I get. Like, she's not going to be doing anything extra. She's not getting extra dolled up. She like, look, I'm just here so that I don't get fined at this point. So Drew confronts Kandi about the comment that she made about and scene, right? And while Drew is spitting it out, Candy's like, yeah, I said and scene. Yeah, I said and scene. And Kandi just says that she didn't feel like it was that serious because she's seen Drew have other arguments with people that she felt were deeper. So she didn't think that the situation with Sheree really called for all of those tears, which is why she felt like Drew was acting. And Drew says, well, maybe you should have thought that I was going through something, right? And that makes sense because if you've seen Drew get into other arguments and she hasn't cried about it before, maybe the fact that she's crying now kind of hints toward there being a deeper issue. I mean, hell, I picked up on that and I don't even know Drew. So, but Kandi does give a little apology. It's not genuine. She's just, saying it to say it, okay? Because in her confessional, she doesn't take back feeling like Drew was acting. She just apologizes for saying and seeing. So they start asking Sanya about her family dynamic and Sanya starts crying. We know the same thing, yada, yada, yada. Moving on. They asked Drew about Drop It with Drew and Drew lies and says everything is going great. Girl, we ain't hear nothing about Drop It with Drew past that episode. Drew, it's okay. Don't lie, okay? And in this moment, Sheree Whitfield decides to beg. She decides to pass the collection plate around and beg for some She by Shein sales, okay?
Oh, we're supporting. Can y'all? I didn't see anybody's name as customers for She by Sheree.
And Sanya is like, girl, the site don't work. Sanya says, look, the night that the site was supposed to go live, we were all in a group chat. We were excited for it. We were going to place our orders. But when we went to order, the site wasn't working. And we have lives. We're not going to be sitting on shebysheree.com hitting refresh, waiting for you to update your site. Girl, we got other shit going on. And I totally agree. It's like out of sight, out of mind. Girl, we were hype about it when it was supposed to happen. You dropped the ball. So we're not going to keep checking your site, sis. I mean, Sonya didn't say all of that, but she did let it be known like your site wasn't working, sis. And I'm like, Sanya is on a roll today. First the ripped jeans, not a website. Good girl. I'm proud of you, sis. And did y'all hear when Marlo shaded Sheree's business? Because Sheree be so crazy if someone talks about her business. But Marlo said, oh, the girl said that your stuff is overpriced and it ain't nothing more than some clothes from Alibaba. Sheree, sweetie, did you not hear that? Because if someone else said it, it would have been a big deal. You literally just went back and forth with Drew about talking about your business. But Marlo just said something about your business and mum's the word. You don't got nothing to say? Girl. So now we get the last scene of the show. Production tells us that they finished wrapping at 11:47 p.m., right? Then about an hour later, we get some phone footage of a conversation that the ladies are having. So on Kandi Speak On It, she does say that the phone footage was from Marlo and Monyetta. The phone footage was from Marlo and Monyetta's phone. They were the ones who recorded this particular scene and who sent in those clips to production. And on Kandi Speak On It, she also said that at this time, she didn't know that those ladies were still recording. Okay, so they're talking about the bolo night again, and then it comes up that Drew kissed LaToya. Now we've heard this before, right? LaToya said it at the reunion, and Kandi also said that Drew kissed LaToya. Not only does Kandi say that she thinks Drew kissed LaToya, she said that she witnessed it. She saw it with her own 2 eyes, okay? And on Kandi Speak On It, she says that she would never like out someone. So the only reason why she even said that is because she didn't know that the conversation was being recorded. And the only reason why she went extra hard with it, she said Drew was denying it. Drew was swearing on her kids that she didn't kiss no girl. So that's when Kandi started to get really upset because she's like, girl, why are you lying when I saw you kiss her? Like, why are you denying it and making me look like a liar, swearing on your kids and making up all this other stuff when I saw it? In Drew's confessional, she says that LaToya actually told her that Kandi is the one who told her, LaToya, to say that at the reunion, that it really didn't happen, but Kandi told her to say that at the reunion, right? Then when production asked Drew if she ever kissed a woman, Drew starts crying. She starts crying immediately. And I'm like, girl. And it's really dramatic. They're playing the music and then they start showing the clips of her and Ty and blah, 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 blah. Like I said in my last review, clearly Drew is going to be carrying the second half of this season on her, because it's looking like it's going to be all about her. So we'll see what happens. This episode was cute, y'all. Please get in the comments and let me know what you thought. What did you think about Kandi's and Scene comments? What else? Do you think that Drew is lying about kissing LaToya, or do you think that Kandi's lying? Whatever you feel, let me know below. Again, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. You already know the vibe, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!
Roxy says we're gonna